Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 20, Shloka 18 to 23. So this topic has many things discussing about the islands and the 7 islands, right? The Priyara's Mahavrata's son's 7 islands, and out of that we are discussing few islands and what they are doing in that islands. And in this, mainly they were talking about how the holy rivers are purifying them materially and spiritually, and how the deity worship is enhancing their spirituality. These two topics we will discuss today, about the significance of the holy rivers and the significance of devotees, along with the deity worship things also. So let's go. We already repeated the verse. We are going by word. So we'll start from where we stop. Kushadvipaha, the island known as Kushadvipa, Grita Udena, by the ocean of clarified butter, Yasmin, in which Krauncha Nama, named Krauncha, Parvatarajaha, a king of mountains, Dvipanama, the name of the island, Nirvartakaha, bringing about, Aste, exists. Translation by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Outside the ocean of clarified butter is another island known as Krauncha Dvipa, which has a width of 1.6 million yojanas or 12.8 million miles. Twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kushadvipa is surrounded by a ocean of a clarified butter, Krauncha Dvipa is surrounded by ocean of milk, as broad as the island itself. On Krauncha Dvipa, there is a great mountain known as Krauncha, from which the island takes its name. Please repeat. Outside the ocean of clarified butter is another island known as Krauncha Dvipa, which has a width of 1.6 million yojanas, 12.8 million miles, twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kushadvipa is surrounded by a ocean of clarified butter, Krauncha Dvipa is surrounded by a ocean of milk, as broad as the island itself. On Krauncha Dvipa, there is a great mountain known as Krauncha, from which the island takes its name. So basically, when Priyavrata gave his sons 7 islands, right? You remember, with the chariot he run with the speed of the sun. Then these 7 islands has been formed in between, as with the clarified butter, then ocean of milk, then even Surapaniyam also, all these things and all also. So the hierarchy goes like this. Each Deepa is as double as the size of the previous one. And even at the universe end also, we can see the earth, water, air, ether, fire, all these things, elements are there, no? Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu. So these elements also, each one is like 10 times bigger. So like this, this material universe has been covered also, and here also each and every Dvipa has been separated. Even we can remember why he made it Dvipas. Basically, when you make Dvipas, the quarrel will be less. If India, Pakistan, someone was saying, if India, Pakistan could have been 2 islands, this much quarrel will not be there. So when it comes to the islands, whatever the quarrel that we are seeing, the problems that we are seeing, no, it will be definitely lesser. He is such a powerful king that he is thinking very broad. Among sons, the quarrel is very common. So he made it 7 islands, and for each of it, one king was there. We saw the names in the previous one. So now we will see how the inhabitants behave there and what are all available there. So 5:20:19. Although the vegetables living on the slopes of Mount Krauncha were attacked and devastated by the weapons of Kartikeya, the mountain has become fearless because it is always bathed on all the sides by the ocean of milk and protected by Varuna Deva. I don't know about this story, why Kartikeya did that. Basically, sometimes, no, when Sukadeva Goswami was saying like this to Parikshit Maharaj, especially when he say about devotees, and when he say about the Supreme Lord, he always questions, stop. Why he did like this? Like this. For example, Vritasura, he was a demon, but he is a great devotee like this, he says. Then he immediately stops and says, why Vritasura? How Vritasura is a great devotee who can even guide Indra also, but at the same time demon also? Then he tells the Chitraketu story. So same like that, every time when he get doubts about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, material affairs he will not ask much. So that's how the Bhagavatam flow went. Now 5:20:20. The ruler of this island was another son of Maharaja Priyavrita. His name was Ghritapristha, and he was a very learned scholar. He also divided his own island among his 7 sons. Oh my God, how much property is there, you see. After dividing the islands into 7 parts, named according to the names of his sons, Ghritapristha, Maharaja completely retired from family life and took shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, the soul of all souls, who has all auspicious qualities. Thus he attained perfection. Vanaprastha. So this is the thing, Dvija. The sons of 5:20:21. The sons of Maharaja Ghritapristha were named Ama, Maduruha, Meghapristha, Sudama, Brijista, Lohitarana, and Vanaspati. In their island, there are 7 mountains which indicate the boundaries of the 7 tracts of land, and there are also 7 rivers. The mountains are named Shukla, Vardhamana, Bhojana, Upabarhina, Nanda, Nandana, and Sarvatobhadra. The rivers are named Abhaya, Amrutauga, Aryaka, Tirdhavati, Rupavati, Pavitravati, and Shukla. Rivers names with women, mountain names with men. So Samudra names also always men. 5:20:22. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvipa are divided into 4 castes called Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devakas. Using the waters of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. We saw what is their mood of demigod worship. They are not less intelligent, full Kritagna. They are worshipping these demigods as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even last class also we saw fire god as the representative of the Yajna. They used to worship him. Even here also as the representative of the Supreme Lord, they are worshipping him. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Apomayaha Asmayam. With joined palms, the inhabitants of the various sections of Kraunchadvipa offered the sanctified water of the rivers to a deity made of stone or iron. We'll discuss this topic also. We'll go with the next one, because this completes that portion, and here purport is also not much. So, Apaha Purusha Viryasta Punantir Bur Bhuva Swaha Tanna Punitamivagnihi Prishtam Atmana Bhuva iti. So what is the mantra that they are using? Basically, we can see further and further also. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvipa worship with this mantra. O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See? Therefore, you purify the 3 planetary systems known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. There is no fun part in the holy sacred rivers. Kindly continue to purify us. Prabhupada was mentioning very interesting point in this purport. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 7.4, Bhumirapo analo vayu kan mano buddhi revacha ahankara iti yamme binna prakriti rastada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. The energy of the Lord acts throughout the creation, just as heat and light, the energy of the sun, act within the universe and make everything work. The specific rivers mentioned in the Shastras are also energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and people who regularly bathe in them are purified. Not only purified spiritually, it can actually be seen that many people are cured of diseases simply by bathing in the river Ganges. Recently we saw, who is this Apple CEO's wife? She got initiated also in Prayag. Jai Sri Radha Mohan Ki Jai. Steve Jobs' wife, I think Kamala, she got initiated with the name Kamala. Yeah, she got from Mayavada Sampradaya. But what happened is, she bathed in the Ganges river. She herself admitted that she had some diseases which were troubling her when she was in USA, and those she got cured. You can see all those news. In fact, she felt better after bathing in Ganges. Not only that, now soon in 2 weeks we are all going to the Mother Ganges, right? So we can see how purified that water bathing will be. Simply the inhabitants of Krauncha Dvipa purify themselves by bathing in the rivers there. Okay, now we'll go with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Agnanati Mirantasya Gnananjanakshalaakaya Chakshurmenitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyan Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhe Vacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you for joining this Bhagavatam class. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about two important topics. One is holy rivers, but I will just try to touch few points. Holy rivers are so purificatory, but why they are having those powers? And one more thing is, what is even more purifying than holy river? Holy book is even more purifying than holy river. Devotees are even more purifying factor than the holy river if you just see this mere body as a water. So we all know the famous shloka Yashyasma Budmir Kunape Tridatuke 1084:13. Whereas it has been said, we see them just as a pond of water. There is no use. And pilgrimage as a mere site for visiting. There is no use. But what is the use has been explained by the sages when they are, see, these people are all there in the banks of the sacred river, but they are talking like this about the rivers. Yatpada Samashraya Suta Munaya Paramashrayanaha Sadhya Punyati Upaprushtaha Savrudhunyapo Anusevaya. O Suta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. This has been even discussed by Sundar Gopal Prabhu yesterday about the topic how devotees can purify immediately. Actually, there was one more shloka when Satit Prabhu was there in Prayag also. He made one reel with this. Gokotidanam grahane kagasya Prayaga Gango Dakakalpavasha Yagnayutam Mer Suvarnadanam Govinda Kirte Nasamam Shetamshe. What is even more great is, even if you do thousands of go coating, crores of cows as a charity, especially at Grahana time, like eclipse time and all, it is very good act. But even if you do that also, and one more thing, Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavasha. Prayaga kind of place where there is a river Ganges there. In this kind of places, even if you stay for kalpas also, kalpa is what? 1 day of Brahma. Kalpas also, but apart from that, Yagnaayutam Meru Suvarna Danam. Basically, whenever we do Yagna, right, we do charity of gold. In fact, we can see in first canto, 12th chapter, when Yudhishthir Maharaj want to do the Ashwamedha Yagna, after all the killing finished, he was having this guilty that I killed so many for this kingdom. Though he has taken it for the sake of Krishna, he has this mood of that I have killed many people. Then he has wish to do the yagna, especially the horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yagna. For that, he don't have any more extra money. Whatever taxes that he can collect and he spend back for the kingdom, that much only he has. When always kings used to make the reserves so that they can do yagna, heaps and heaps of gold they require. So that time Krishna guides them to the north. There one Marutha, whatever is the name. So that king who got heaps and heaps of gold, when he did the yagna, he sacrificed it to the Brahmins. Many things. They came from another worlds also. But when they are going, no, they felt this is a unnecessary waste of weight. Then they have thrown everything there itself in the Himalayas, and then they went to their thing. See how pure the Brahmanas are also. Like this, heaps and heaps of golds deposited there. Then Krishna says to Arjuna, go there and get them. Like this, there was a story. In fact, there are many more things in that. That day, me, Srinandan, all of us were hearing the class from 192 shloka also, 1.9.2. In that, Prabhupada explained the full story, or first canto 12th chapter also. You can go and read that story. So like this, when Yagnayitam Meru Suvarna Dhanam, even if you do the donation of gold as good as Meru mountain, that much gold, even if you donate also. But what is not equal to that? Govinda Kirte Nasamam Shetamshe. Shetamshe means even 1% of the 100% also. It is not even equal, greater than that much also. Not even equal to 1% of it also. Of what? Govinda Kirte, Harinama that we are chanting. This Harinama, how we got? By the mercy of devotees. So when devotees come, they preach this. They preach this. That's why even in Gita Mahatmya, Shankaracharya in Gita Mahatmya 3rd sloka and 5th sloka, for example, in 3rd sloka he is saying, Maline Mochana Snanam Samsare Dine Dine Sakrit Gita Amrita Snanam. Okay, let's go to last line, I do not remember. Gita Mahatmya 3, yeah. Maline Nirmochanam Pumsham Jalasnanam Dine Dine Sakrit Gitamrita Snanam Samsara Malanashanam. Basically, what they are saying is, Shankaracharya was saying is, one may cleanse himself daily taking a bath in water. But if one takes bath even once in the sacred Ganges of water, Bhagavad Gita, for him the debt of material life is altogether vanquished. Now Gita Jayanti is coming now. All these 7 slokas are pretty much useful. Many people says many scriptures and all. But we can see the last sloka of this Gita Mahatmya. Shankaracharya himself is saying, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gita. If there should be only one scripture, let it be Gita. If there should be only one worshipable deity, let it be Devaki Nandana. If there should be only one Nama, let it be Krishna's holy name. Like this, if there should be only one Seva, let it be Krishna's service. Shankaracharya himself is saying this. Though he is giving the faulty commentaries for Bhagavad Gita, he could not resist himself when he is writing the Gita Mahatmya. He spoke the truth. So this is called googly. Which somewhere will come, it will come to the wicket. So like that, in first itself, he is telling Gita Mahatmya that this is the context of Gita, but everyone will be clean board because of the googly board by Shankaracharya. Like this. And 5th one, here also. Bharatamrita Sarvasham Vishnuvakrad Vinishritam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate. One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. Yes, it attains salvation as told in today's topic also. But so what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Basically, one more point is there. If you see, Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanma na vidyate. Whoever drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita, there will be no more birth for him. Punarjanma na vidyate. So in that book, that is not there. Shlokas are not there. So only in the changed edition, the slokas are there. In that only English is there. That's why this Punarjanma na vidyate comes only by reading Gita. That too, if Prabhupada kind of person not translated this, not given purpose. Imagine our situation. There were thousands of Gita editions. Even Mayavadis also wrote editions for Bhagavatam also. Such dangerous thing. But when devotees view these scriptures as it is what they understood from Krishna and what Krishna meant, then there won't be any problem for us, and immediately purification will start, which supposed to take years and years and lives and lives. Maline mochana. So, like this, water is very, very important factor in our life to cleanse ourselves inside. Ganges water. That's the motto of those Kushadvipa, Kraunchadvipa, all these kind of people. Not just go there and then do simply playful bathing and then come out. Then what happens? Like how the Nalakuvera got cursed when they are doing this kind of heinous activities in the holy rivers, like this kind of course, even curse and boon, anything from a devotee is a boon. That we can see in 10th canto, 10th chapter itself, when they are speaking the prayers, right? We don't have any eligibility. Because of Narada Muni, we could see. Maybe how many more lifetimes we could have taken, we don't know. Because of Narada Muni only we could see you. So that is the mercy of the pure devotee. And now, when it comes to one more topic, we can show many more slokas like Tirdi Kurvanti Tirdani. Why this holy, even when we bathe in holy rivers or when we go to holy places, sacred places, why they are so important is because the people whoever carrying the Lord, they visit those places, right? And they are carrying the sacred places along with them. Basically, whoever carrying the Lord is carrying Vrindavan along with them. That's why Prabhupada in 7th canto, 14th chapter, 35th to 38th sloka, he clearly says how all the Krishna conscious temples all over the world are Tirthasthanas, or holy rivers, holy sacred places. Why? Because of presence of the pure devotees and Krishna, Radha Krishna deities. So this way we can understand this aspect of it. And another aspect of today's thing is that they were saying they purify themselves by doing the deity worship there. Basically, in Satyuga, deity worship was not prominent. This deity worship has come only in Treta Yuga onwards. And it became very, very prominent in Dwapar Yuga, and it will become low in Kali Yuga. And it will become almost like negligible in Satyuga. Why? Because they used to respect each other Vaishnavas. If you go 7th canto, 13th chapter, entire chapter, if you read, you will clearly understand. Prabhupada was explaining about this topic, and even Sukadeva Goswami himself was explaining, Narada Muni actually explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj about this topic, 7th canto, 13th chapter. The context is like this. In Satyuga, right, all Vaishnavas used to be pretty much cooperative with each other and pretty much prizing each other and pretty much appreciating each other's service, and there is no matsara, nirmatsara, no enviousness in any one of them. They are representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone is recognizing that representative. But in Treta Yuga, slowly, this envy started coming among Vaishnavas also. Then Krishna is saying, okay, you worship me. Among you, some problems are there, you worship me. It is as good as when devotees are pretty much cooperative with each other. Deity worship is not something which can be, which need to be done. But in Kali Yuga, this is impossible. We all must do the deity worship. And not only that, all inhabitants. So this is like golden age era that we are talking about. Even in that also, even in that time also, if you see 9th canto, 14th chapter, I think 48 or 45, one of it. Let's see. Eka eva puraveda pranava sarva vanmaya devo narayano anya ekagnir varna evacha. So here, even in that case also, in Satyuga, it was like the first millennium, all the Vedic mantras were included in one mantra, Pranava, the root of all Vedic mantras. In other words, the Atharva Veda alone was the source of all Vedic knowledge. It was only one Veda. Now only it became 4 Vedas in Kali Yuga. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, was the only worshipable deity. There was no recommendation for worship of the demigods also. Fire was one only, and the only order of life in human society was known as Hamsa. Everyone was Paramahamsa. But if you see the next sloka, the deity worship, O Maharaja Parishit, at the beginning of Treta Yuga, King Pururava inaugurated a Karmakanda sacrifice. Thus, Pururava, who considered the yagnic fire, his son, was able to go to Gandharloka as he desired. So, in Treta Yuga onwards only, all these things has been introduced. And then, of course, we can see one by one leg of the Dharma goes when each and every Yuga progress. So, this is the reason that we are in a pathetic situation right now. In fact, even more purifying thing is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalikale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Yesterday also, when we are distributing books, many people having the doubt, I can take this book at my home. I am eating this, I am eating that. Can I do that? Chappal. Can I do that? No. You can do one thing, how much ever bad place that is. Chanting the holy name. So this one is only the purificatory factor. Now this deity worship that they are doing has many forms, like made of many materials. It has been said in 11th canto, 27th chapter, I think. Yeah, 12th sloka. Yes. See, you see, 8 kinds of things are there in worshipping Krishna. Shaili, Daru, Mayi, Lauhi, Lepya, Lekya, Cha, Saikati, Manomayi, Manimayi, Pratishmasta, Vidasmutaha. Each and everything is a actually representation of deity thing. A deity can be made of stone, Shaili. Darumayi, a deity can be made of wood. Lauhi, it can be made of metal. Lepya, made of clay, sandalwood, and other substances laid down as a paste. Lekya, painted also. All paintings that we are seeing. Cha, Saikati, made of sand also. Manamahi, conceived of in the mind also. With mind also you can worship the deity. We can know one Brahmana story in this connection that we all know. He heard that it is very great. You can read this full story also in 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd, 24th sloka, this Ravana Kirtana. Vishnu is there, no? In that purport in Archana, the Prabhupada explained this story. You can see. So, whereas he used to do the entire, not only deity worship, right from Mangalarti till afternoon offering also, cooking, offering, bathing, dressing, everything detailing he used to do with mana. And then after many days, one day he was touching the hot paisam thinking that it is hot to offer or not, but his hand really burned. Then immediately Lord sent from Vaikunta his agents. So with mind also you can worship, but it is very tough. In fact, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we heard even from our last workshop, from Japa workshop, right? That we had, we cannot grasp with the mind. That's why we should chant as loud as in such a way that at least our ears should hear. Then the mind will be not flickering and come to the constant focus point. It can be done, but for our kind of stage of thing and for our kind of consciousness, and in this fallen years, this is not recommended. Manimayi, made of jewels. You know, here one photo is there, made of jewels, Krishna photo. Pratima, the deity, Astavida, 8 varieties. Smrita, it is remembered. The deity form of the Lord is said to be appear in 8 varieties: stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, sand, the mind, or jewels. That's why we call, if you see here, Daru Brahma, right? Dharumai. Jagannath we call as Daru Brahma. Right, Prabhu? Daru Brahma. So, because the form of the Lord in the wood, that way we can understand these things. But Krishna is clearly saying, if you see the further shloka, why he is giving the shelter of the deity for this fallen condition. So, the deity form of the Lord, who is the shelter of all living entities, can be established in 2 ways: temporarily or permanently. But he is giving the procedure further. Basically, this one, I think, yeah. No procedure only. Here only, somewhere after that, why he is giving the deity. He is talking about the pure devotee. Even he can worship with the mental paraphernalia also, but one should worship in my deity form. Okay. Here he is furthermore explaining about this. Basically, to bring our interest back to Krishna. With deity worship, we can get purification very, very quickly. With holy name, we can get purification very, very quickly. These are the methods that has been recommended. Even when we were discussing, we are in a conjunction age of Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. After 10,000 years, even these deities also will unmanifest themselves. After the golden age of Sankirtana finish, temples maintenance will become highly impossible. Then deity worship also will become highly impossible. Let's say, like, take one case study. If entire world becomes this Muslim world, then it's very difficult to do deity worship. Finish. So it can be anything. How Lord arranged this, we all don't know. But deities unmanifest themselves. Just like how our Goswamis and all also got these deities from the earth. Then in again Satyuga, these all deities will come back again and manifest to the pure devotees. Again goes to their hands. Like this, it will happen. And that's why when we talk about this entire topic, we are in really, frankly to say, best part of the time. Even if we miss the chance now also, it's like Swayam Krita Aparadha. You know this? Swayam Krita Aparadha. Doing mistake with our own hands. Swayam Krita Aparadha. So like that. Nobody is there to complain for that. Now also, like that day, me and Keshava went for Sankirtan morning time. Very hot. We want to drink juice. We were trying to take some company. Even in the juice also contamination. We don't know. Later Vimal Prabhu clarified it's a template format. But still, even if in juice also the contamination can come, then what you can do? So it's very difficult to follow bhakti as the years going further and further. Imagine 30 years back how purified things were there, and now how much more contamination was there. Even Tirumala Laddu also can get contaminated. What happens to the food cooked at your home? What is the guarantee that the ghee that you are bringing is correct? So all this, so these kind of things may get contaminated. That's why in 12351 it has been clearly said that कलो दोषनिधे राजन कलेर दोषनिधे राजन अस्ति ही एको महद्गुण कीर्तनादेव कृष्णस्य मुक्त संग परम विजय कले दोषनिधे राजन निधि इट्स ए ओशन ऑफ फॉल्ट्स दोषनिधे राजन अस्ति ही एको महद्गुण देयर इज वन गुड क्वालिटी स्टिल ग्रेट क्वालिटी कीर्तनादेव कृष्णस्य द होली नेम ऑफ कृष्ण कीर्तना मुक्त संग परम विजय by this you can get the liberation spiritual kingdom you will be promoted to the spiritual kingdom. And then further whatever we discussed just now, all this has been explained in the next slokas also. But the whole point of today's sloka is, although these inhabitants of Krauncha Dvipa are very well advanced about the demigod worship and how we need to do All this has been clearly explained by Sundar Gopal Prabhu in yesterday's class. So if you want to see, the same point has been repeated even in today's shloka also, like 5:20-23, whereas they are worshipping the Varuna Deva as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you see in each and every Deepa, right, later sun will come, previously except I think, sun they are worshipping in one of the Dvipa, next fire god, now Varuna Deva, in next god moon also finished I think, Satyajit Prabhu gave already, moon also finished. So like this, each and every demigod as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are worshipping. So even this also, how it is not recommended for us, and how our Guru recommended the worship of the deity, and why we need to worship only Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Sarvadeva Maya Guru, yesterday our people also gave the clarity about that Sarvadeva Maya Guru. When we worship the Guru, we are worshipping all demigods by themselves. So this is a proper way of worshipping. Guru is representative of all the demigods also, not only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this way you will fulfill the worship, you will satisfy everyone. For example, if you see, by birth itself, you are indebted to many people, right? 42, 11, 5 or 2? Devarshi Nunanam people. 41, right? Yeah. This one many times we saw this shloka. Devarshi Bhutaptanunanam Pitrunam Naking Karonayam Runi Sarajan Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihatya Krityam Parihritya Kartam. O king, one who has given up all material duties and has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, who offers shelter to all, is not indebted to demigods, great sages, ordinary living beings, relatives, friends, mankind, or even one's forefathers who have passed away. Since all such classes of living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, one who has surrendered to the Lord's service has no need to serve such persons separately. We may say we are not fully surrendered, or still we may need to worship demigods, or we need to respect them by worshipping them, all this and all. But it has been clearly clarified in the purport by Acharyas. I was reading this purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita 22nd chapter for the same shloka. Maybe you can help me with that. There Prabhupada wrote purport how these 5 things has been explained. So pancha yagna. Anybody whoever lives in this world must do every day pancha yagna. What is that pancha yagna? You know, he must respect the demigods. He must by offering yagnic sacrifices to them, and he must respect the great sages by reading the scriptures given by them and following the rituals that has been ordered by them. And we must, each and every living entity also we must respect by normal way, and even feeding them, all these kind of things and all. And Prabhu, you found that, Prabhu? 11:541 in Chaitanya Charitamrita 22 141. Yeah, perfect. This is the one. Adhyapanam Brahma Yagna Pitrur Yagna Stutarpanam Homa Devo Balir Bhuta Nriyagno Titi Pujanam. So how we need to worship each and everyone, it has been explained. By offering oblations with ghee, we will respect demigods. One satisfies the demigods. By studying the Vedas, one performs the Brahma Yagna or the sages, Brahmana, all these things and all, which satisfies the great sages. By offering oblations of water before one's forefathers, one performs the Pitru Yagna, relatives. How you will satisfy your relatives, or how you will serve your relatives? By doing the Pitru Yagna. By offering tribute, one performs Bhuta Yagna. By properly receiving guests, one performs Nuna Yagna, like ordinary living beings, anyone. We need to always receive each and everyone properly. And Bhuta Yagna, like we need to distribute foods for all the living entities like birds, all these things and all also. And it has been said that one has to go out before eating and loudly shout, anybody is there starving, hungry, then only he should eat. So this way you will do the Nara Yagna, like Nu Yagna. So, but one here, Prabhupada is saying one thing. One who is doing the Sankirtan, one who started the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, no need to do all this. Many times devotees ask this question, I am not fully surrendered devotee Prabhu, why I should not do Pitri Yagna? You should not have this mood. see here. These are the 5 yajnas that liquidate the 5 kinds of indebtedness. Indebtedness to the demigods, great sages, forefathers, living entities, and common men. Therefore, one has to perform 5 kinds of yajnas. But when one takes to Sankirtana yajna, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one does not have to perform any other yajna. Clear? So, this is the instruction of our spiritual master. One takes this Sankirtana yajna, no need to worship any other demigod, no need to worship their even relatives, all these things and all also. But our Guru, whatever he has recommended, if we go in that path, that is more than enough. That's the thing. So I hope I brought the clarity about the deity worship in connection with the demigods and various kinds of deities which has been registered as said in the 520-22 purport by Prabhupada, and how holy rivers, although they are there, devotees are even more purificatory than holy rivers. We touched on each and everything, few points. So now I'd like to end the class, but if there are any doubts, we can go, or if there are any points to add, we can go. Hare Krishna. Yes. Pitri Yajna. Oblations to the forefathers. That's what. It's not necessary ritual that you need to do. Once you are doing Sankirtana Yajna every day, then there is no need to do any of these yajnas. That has been explained here. And Prabhupada, after this purport, like this is a sloka given by, I think, Madhvacharya. Okay? Madhvacharya or Shankaracharya, one of them. Adhyapam Brahma Yajna Pitrur Yajnastu Tarpanam. Homo Devo Balir Bhauto Nruyagno Titi Pujanam. Right? Atiti Pujanam. Guess. Okay? Atiti Pujanam. So, although these 5 kinds of yajnas are there, it has been clearly told that one who is doing Sankirtana yajna no need to do all these yajnas. But still, if a devotee is doing, it is not something like, oh, he came out of pretty much out of the path. But at the same time, he don't need to do. There is a subtle thing that you need to catch in between. Even if you don't do also, the oblations to your forefathers will go, because every day you are doing Sankirtan. That's the whole point. Like yesterday also Prabhu was showing one sloka, right? 8549. Yatataror Mula Nishechana and 431-14 also. This both he was showing, right? So according to that, when you pour the water to the roots, then automatically branches, twigs, everything will be satisfied, leaves, everything. So that way when you Achyuteja, when you worship the Achyuta, then automatically all devas and all Pitrus, everyone will get satisfied. So this is the whole context of the thing. Yes. You can do when it is a pure Vaishnava way, not in a Karma Kanda way. That's the main thing. See, now we are all also going to Gaya. There it will happen in a Vaishnava way. When my father also passed away, I searched a lot in Singapore for a Vaishnava Brahmana. I could not get here. This Perumal temple guys, they stopped it. I don't know why Prabhu did. So, so when my father passed away, then I searched for this Perumal temple Brahmanas, because none of our Brahmanas are used to this. Then I asked Prabhu, then just for the sake of the society, for the satisfaction of them, one of our Brahmana only helped me just do that Pitru thing. But apart from that, the main thing that I have done is feeding the devotees, feeding the cows. This is the main thing that we need to do. See, ultimately, if the food need to reach to your father or need to reach to your parents. But if you feed through devotees, that's the best way that it can reach to your parents. Brahmana, you can see entire 5th canto, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, Nabi was clearly saying, you are in the mouth of Brahmanas, my dear Lord. Like this he was saying. So through Brahmana's mouth, you will get satisfied. Through Yajna also, through fire also, you may get satisfied or not. But through Brahmana's mouth, you will definitely get satisfied. Gaya, Vaishnavas, Varanasi, not much. You should be very careful. All Mayavadis are there. Pure devotee. Yes, yes. Okay. So the real meaning of liberation is becoming a devotee. This has been clearly explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, and even in morning walks, Prabhupada has mentioned this point. When devotees asked this doubt, he clearly told the real liberation for entire society or anybody in the family is becoming devotee. Once we become a devotee, Krishna will give our 11, 10 generations before, 10 generations after, and including our generation, all 21 generations, he will give the chance to become devotee. That is the real meaning of liberation. Their devotional process will be fructified immediately. Even though they are doing heaps and heaps of sins, karmani nirdayati kintuja bhakti bhaja, like that, Krishna will burn all their sins and immediately bring them to the devotional service. Soon, soon. That's the point he gives. Pitru Yajna. I could not understand. That's the whole point I'm saying. No, if you are a devotee, you don't need to do Pitru Yajna. You don't need to do. If you are a devotee, they are also getting the devotee chance. You don't need to do. Huh? Just now I am showing that point only. You are not pure devotee, but still what Prabhupada is recommending here, please see. If by offering tribute, one performs Bhuta Yajna, by properly receiving guests, one performs Niraya Yajna. Okay, next. Therefore, one has to perform 5 of Yajna. But one when takes Sankirtana Yajna, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, one does not need to perform any other Yajna. This is the, see, basically the sloka is 11 to 41 only. But how purport is given by Prabhupada in this way? 11 to 41 in 20. Now, live also not there. Oh, screen also not there. Okay. Okay. No worries now. Okay. So the whole point is, no, I don't know, that mic got off. I on another mic. The point is, once you become devotee, you don't need to do this demigod worship, Pitru worship, all this. No. All basic slokas of Bhagavad Gita also says the same 925, all these things and all also. Pitru Vitan, Harish. Correct. That's what the whole doubt is when we see all the Puranas, all the Itihasas and all of this did, but now it has been said that we don't need to do. Why it is like this? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did for his father. And Rama also did. Everyone did. So, Mataji, if you have not done, for example, there is nothing wrong. But if you go there, even if you do, then also nothing wrong. That way. I also did in Srisailam for my father when I went India after COVID. Srisailam was also one of the place that Godavari River, Srisailam, Godavari, Krishna River. I took a Vaishnava Brahmana there because that is the near place for us, Holy River. So I went to the Krishna's bank and then did that. That's what force. My family is completely against that time. At least what should be done? Try to find all adjustments and then go. But main thing I did was feeding Brahmanas here. Vaishnavas. Yeah. Vaishnavas are the greatest Brahmanas. Yeah. No, once you start devotional service, no need to do. That's the thing. Once you start devotional service, no need to do. So now you can get as many feast sponsors as possible, as many Bhagavatams you can distribute by telling these points and convince them, take Bhagavatam and feed Brahmanas here. These two, you make it happen. Shuddha Sattva. Yes, 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 yes. That's it. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand.